the Saloon cars, the Holden versus Ford battle, and it will be Mason Harvey in car number 1, starting along Jackson Callow, who got in front of Robbie Marcon with few laps to go in that one. Gary Hills will start out of P4. Mark Walker-Watkins in car number 21 will start out of 5. Brock Bowley in car 49 out of 6. Rick Gill made a fantastic comeback in that one, coming from down towards the back of the field and finds himself in around about 7th or 8th position. Tyson Sadler is there in car number 36 along with Adam Coberstein. Vince Chiella from Bunbury is in car number 12, Craig James in 10, Reggie Ralph in car number 41. Dylan Barr slipped down a little bit in that race. We have Martin in car number 65, Glenn Tincombe in car number 11, Anthony Game having a fairly quiet night in car number 40, Warren Ellis in 30, the newcomer Parham in car number 97, Kenny Power in 24, Norman in car 20, Peter Dybel in 63, and Michael Coberstein, I think we have lost due to a little bit of smoke coming out of the back of that car earlier on this evening. So it looks like Michael has decided to park that one for the rest of the night. But what a day it has been here. Through the daylight racing, we had our open wheel categories and the historic touring cars on earlier today. And then to finish it off tonight with the XLs, the Holden HQs, the production cars, improved production cars and street cars. And now the final hurrah for day number 1 of school for 2025 for Rightway Industrial Proprietary Limited and, of course, the Bailey Brewing Company, Fox Roofing Western Australia, Adrenaline Performance and Fabrication, Word of Mouth Signs, and Auto One Morley. These are the Saloon cars.
Here they come out onto the racetrack, and the clock is already ticking, ladies and gentlemen, so we'll lose the time out of the clock that it takes them to roll and form unless they're going to spring a surprise on us forward and do a rolling start like what the Kiwis did earlier in the evening. That did catch everyone napping, so to speak. But I guess the battle's on between Callow and Marcon, isn't it, after Callow
Certainly
got
is.
the better of Marcon in that second race. And the question is, can anyone stop Mason Harvey on track for the clean sweep? And not the first one of the day, but that hasn't been par for the course. We haven't seen as many clean sweeps as we might have otherwise envisaged. We certainly didn't get one in the XLs, but the riders is spice of life, and it's good to see that the love is being shared around on the opening day. We mentioned how good it's been. I think a lot of people will be happy to see the end of it. There'll be a few people ruining what might have been, and there'll be even more very grateful that we're not coming back and doing this again tomorrow, and they can have a sleep in.
Yeah, for sure, Zach. Now, we have to have a very quick and short conversation about the Competition Drivers Club Driver of the Day. And I've just thought of another candidate for this award for today, and that was Mason Legg in the Formula V, taking a win today, only the second time out in that new car. So I think that puts him in good stead to take home the Competition Drivers Club. What do you reckon?
There are a couple of willing and fitting candidates, mate. There's no doubt about that. I agree. Legg was magnificent, especially the onboard shots that we got with him in that third and final Formula V race. You mentioned the Sousa in the XLs. I nominated Zane Rhodes as well. All would be worthy when it's going to be hard to narrow that down. I guess we've got the better part of another 10 minutes to do that, but I'm going to trust your judgment on that one, I reckon.
Well, thank you very much. We'll present this one. If it does go to Mason Legg, we'll let everybody know who is going to take home the Competition Drivers Club trophy for day number 1 of the 2025 season here at the CarCO Nightmasters. Of course, we are here at CarCO Raceway in Perth, Western Australia. Thank you very much for joining us wherever you're watching us on the live stream around the world, and in the eastern states. It'll be just about time for bed over there. Definitely, it's 20 past 1 over there in the morning at the moment, and I'm surprised that Zach's actually still got his eyes open. He's sitting in a little garage there in Queensland, out of Ipswich, not too far away from Ipswich and Lake Dyer, where I will be in the next couple of weeks over there, calling some powerboat racing on Lake Dyer in Laidley. So hopefully might catch up with you over there, Zach.
You'll have to send me some dates for that, because I'll be around. There's plenty of great motorsport coming up here as well in the next couple of weeks. And of course, the last one of the night about to get underway here, Vaughan.
And it has already left. It's a great start for Mason Harvey for Tribridge. He's going to take the lead down into turn number 1 for the first time, with Jackson Callow trying to go around the outside. He slots back in right in the boot lid of Mason, and these two are driving away already, and that'll be Robbie Marcon in third place with the first of the Holden Commodores, car number 93 of Gary Hills. And Gary Hills was racing Super 3 there for a while, and has decided to come back to the Saloon cars. We no longer have a Super 3 category as part of the Supercar series anymore. So Gary's decided to come back into his Saloon car, which he was racing before he went off to do the Super 3. And, it was a mixed result so far for Gary. I think overall he'd be happy where he is, but then on the other side he's a very determined driver and probably wants to get a little bit further up. As our leaders coming down into turn number 7 for the first time, it's Mason Harvey for Tribridge Services from Jackson Callow in second place, and Robbie Marcon in third place. As they cross the stripe, they are driving away now from Gary Hills in 93, Mark Watkins and Tyson Sadler, and behind them is Vince Chiella and Adam Koberstein round out the top 8.
Don't be surprised if we get a neutralisation here, though. Vaughan, car pulled up, Exeter turn 6, drivers right going up the hill and stuck, I think, still just briefly on the bitumen there. And that looks to be Rick Gill in the number 81, which is an unfortunate way for his day to end, and an even more unfortunate way for this race to play out, because I reckon with the safety car you can see the yellow's already waving, ladies and gentlemen. So this race will be neutralised as the safety car graces us with its presence once more. We had a pretty sweet run without the safety car for a few races there, Vaughan, unfortunately. Spanner in the works in the last one of the day, night, morning, wherever you're tuning in all around the world. It's been an extraordinary day. You mentioned how the hell am I still awake? Well, that's what 6 coffees will do to you throughout the course of a 16-hour work day. It's not often I do a marathon like this, but happy to be a part of it and looking forward to being back with you, of course, for the next, well, not for the next one, but for the third round of the WASCC season at the back end of June, that last weekend of the financial year, as we'll call it, as the safety car picks up the leader, Mason Harvey, across the start-finish line. The lights ablaze on the safety car, and the yellow flags and lights ablaze on the pit straight here at carco.com.au Raceway as well. Harvey, Callow, Marcon, Hills and Watkins, the top 5, as this race is neutralised.
6 minutes remaining in this one, which was a 12-minute plus 1 lap event. And a big thank you to all of our officials out there. It's been an extremely long day for you all, and of course our fire crew, our rescue crews, all of the people up there in the medical facilities, our ambulance drivers as well. All of our administration staff, thank you for all of your help and assistance in leading up to what has been a fantastic day one here at carco.com.au Raceway. Hope everybody's enjoyed it. It's certainly been... it's actually exceeded my expectations of what day one was going to be about. We were straight back into it, door to door, handle to door handle racing, and not too far away from those elusive track records. And Zach, I don't know whether you tune into the Repco V8 Supercar Series. When they come to Perth, the first thing they are concerned about is this surface over here. But look, our local guys are still able to break lap records on it, so I don't see that there is any issue, although the V8 Supercars do run a different compound tyre. So maybe it's a valid argument, but for me, if our local guys are still breaking track records, then they should be right up there as well.
I would hazard a guess that they should. As we said, the lights are out on the safety car here, so we're going to get a restart immediately, which is good news. I reckon you just deal with the cards you dealt for, and there's too much whinging and for the sake of it. I think there's nothing wrong with the facility there at CarCo at the moment. I was only over there 16 months ago. It's in immaculate condition from what I'm seeing here, and I know you've sung the praises of the team over there all day long, so I reckon just play on. Oh, hang on. It's a bit shaky off the restart. The green flag flies, and there was a bit of overlapping there, so race control might have a bit to look at, I think.
Yeah, there's a few guys hard on the brakes as they were coming up to the start-finish line, but everybody seems to have got through without making contact with the car in front or being rear-ended by the car from behind. It's same story. It's Mason Harvey in front from Jackson Callow, and they've got 2 car links now over Robbie Marcon in car number 82, and Gary Hills all over the back of Robbie Marcon now. So this could be a move on for third here from the Holden Commodore, the black car of car 93 of Gary Hills. Marcon goes defensive. Hills stays right out to driver's left on the entry into turn number 6. That should give him a good run on the way out of turn number 6, but already Marcon has streated him on the way out of turn number 6. The Ford Falcons have got a little bit of a torque advantage out of turn number 6, and that's why they're able to get that slightly higher speed down into turn number 7. The Commodores just can't negate it in that particular part of the circuit.
Down the main straight, and they're still trying to sort themselves out. It's Harvey holding off Callow and Marcon. That safety car interval has just given Harvey a little bit more work to do in trying to shake off the attack of Callow and Marcon. Got to work a little bit harder for this W as the defending number 1 over there in the WA Saloon Car Series. Out along the back of the circuit once more through turn 4 into turn 5. It was interesting, he took an onboard shot here earlier going out of turn 6. It was like you were going into a dark tunnel during a blackout, and then all of a sudden the light reappeared as you appeared over the top of the crest going down the hill. It's a really polarising part of the racetrack for these drivers to contend with. But again, as we talked about earlier, the good cars and track conditions, everybody's in the same boat, playing in the same conditions. And they're all dealing with it in a very commendable manner as they make their way down the hill. What a sight that is. Saloon Cars lights ablaze to turn 7 once more.
3 Falcons out in front again for race number 3 here for our Saloon Cars. The best of the Commodores being Gary Hills and Mark Watkins, Tyson Sadler, Vince Chiella, and Adam Coverstein, Craig James. So once we get past the first 3 Falcons, it's a Commodore festival right back until we get to Glen Kincombe in position 12. So 9 Commodores behind the top 3 Ford Falcons at the moment. Really starting to get spaced out now, our first, second and third. And this is going to be a fairly processional race by the look of it, unfortunately. But all the action's happening back here with Watkins and Sadler and Chiella.
And the other polarising aspect of all of this, which is a little bit off-putting for those of us not there trackside, Vaughan, is that live timing is only showing 1 lap completed. It's showing that the checkered flag's been waved. That's not true. We're still racing. We had that issue earlier in the XL race where the timing screen went to checkered flag 1 lap earlier than the race on track it did itself. But the good thing for the drivers is they're not being put off by that. They're racing to the signals that are being given to them from the start-finish line control tower there. Much to our delight, and now it goes back green now that we've alerted race control to that, which is good news for all and sundry. 6 laps gone, fastest lap of the race, Harvey, 105.6913. It's this and 1 more lap to go. We pick up the 76 there, of course, outside the 10 at the moment. Is it? I'm not sure. I'm just trying to pick that up on the 36. My apologies. I'm having a brain fade at this time of the day. 8th place, chasing Coverstein in 7, holding off with number 10 of James in 9th at the moment. So we've got a couple of battles to keep an eye on there with 1.5 laps to go.
And Mason Harvey half a second quicker than Jackson Callow last time through, a 105.6. It's only half a second away from the track record, and this is at night time. That track record set by Grant Johnson was set on the 18th of the 8th, 2019. So it's been a fairly long-standing saloon car race record, but to get that close at night time, that's some excellent driving from young Mason Harvey, who we've seen in the little Aussie touring cars last year. And I haven't been able to catch up with Mason to see whether he's going to go back and have another crack at that. But he was a very competitive in the rookie section of the little Aussie race cars as part of the Repco V8 series that travels around Australia. But it's Mason Harvey over Jackson Callow, Rob Marcon, Gary Hills and Mark Watkins. Those 5 have remained unchanged since the start of this race. And we are gone into negative territory now, so we will get the last lap board. Not the last lap board, but it should be 1 more lap to go.
To be followed by the checkered flag, of course. Mason Harvey, formidable force in Western Australian Saloon car racing on the way down to the final corner. I reckon he's going to see a checkered flag this time by Vaughan Brewer to the final corner, to the main straight, and another clean sweep racked up on day one of school for 25.
Yep, you got it right, mate. Your checkered flag has fallen on this one, and Mason Harvey takes the win from Jackson Kello in car number 225, the Ford Falcon, and another Falcon with Robbie Marcon behind the wheel in P3. Hills, Watkins, and Vince Giella. Then we got Tyson Sadler in 7, Adam Koberstein in 8, Craig James takes out 9, and Reg Ralph, the current Australian Pro-Am category champion, car number 41. He comes home in 10th overall. So a good day's racing for Reg Ralph in car number 41. Well, mate, that brings to a close our race meeting here, day number 1 of the 2025 WA Sporting Car Club Racing Championship, of course, being the CarCO Nightmasters. Just quickly, mate, what's your highlight of the day? I know there's been a big day of racing.